Okay.
You wrote 3.
Oh, yeah, 12. Okay, so in class, I'm recording now. In class we had this problem where it was asked about the preparation, how we were going to convert this months tuple into a dictionary of key month and value the number of the month with a dictionary comprehension. And the solution that was proposed was that we would say D is something like this. And this is not correct, but we'll do it anyways. I think it was something like y colon x for x in months tuple. Nope, that may be for y in months tuple. For x in range, does that look about right? Yeah. Len of months tuple, maybe plus 1 or something like that. Let's just say range 1 through 13. That's about what we had, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and so what this is actually going to do, this is almost like a double for loop. And so when you do it, I think it's going to execute the outer loop first and say for x in range, okay, so x is going to take on the value of 1, and then it's going to run this. Okay, so it's almost like it's grouping this part first. This is like our outer for loop, because if you do a double list comprehension, that's what you end up with, is kind of like a double for loop. So I think that what's going on is you get x takes on the value 1, and then it goes through this, and it says for y in months tuple, and so basically you're going to end up with y is each of your months, and x is going to always be 1. And then it's going to go through again, and x is going to take on the value of 2, and it's going to evaluate this again, until you get to the end, x takes on the value of 12, and then it does it again, and creates your final dictionary, which is month is January, number is 12. Month is February, number is 12, etc., etc. And so in the end, you end up with a dictionary that looks something like Jan 12. Feb, also 12. And so when I tested this in class, I tested it by saying, I want D for December. And I got 12, as I expected. And so that's why we didn't catch this in class, that there was a mistake. Okay, so that's, I think, what's going on with this, but when you're doing a dictionary comprehension, I guess the main lesson here is you don't want to have essentially two for loops, which is essentially nested for loops here, because it's not going to save the intermediate data. When you've got a nested list comprehension, it sort of makes sense, right? Because you can end up putting in, nesting stuff like this, and well, I guess this is not what you have, but it ends up making a lot more sense. For each of the values in there, we're going to evaluate this thing, and this makes an inner list, and then you've got this outer list comprehension. I'll explain that in another video. Anyways, you don't want double for loops, essentially, or double fors in dictionary comprehension. So here's the solution that I had in mind. And in the preparation notebook that I posted online, this is the solution it has. Okay, I think it's a little bit more clear. Let's see if we have D is, we want to have a month, right? And we want to have a number let's see. Well, the number could be num in range 1, 13, right? That would at least get our num correct. But how then could we get from num to the month? Well, then we can just take our months tuple, and if our number is 1, then we want num minus 1. So when we, and then a colon, right? Sorry, this is a little bit messy, but I think with this one, what's going to happen is you're going to get num is first going to take on the value of 1, And then it's going to create a dictionary entry that is num is 1, and month's tuple of num minus 1, well, num minus 1 is 0, so month's tuple is 0. It's going to be January. And then it's going to execute num, then is going to take on the next value, 2. And so we're going to have 2 and num, which is 2, minus 1 is 1. Month's tuple, element 1 is Feb. Going to plug that in. And so on until you get to December. So this is one solution that gets you what you want. There's other solutions, and we'll see those later on in the course. I think one student found something that would work. They used a property of the dictionary. There's a method, because dictionary is an object, that's got a method that can tell you which, or excuse me, for the tuple, it can tell you, if you give it, let's say January, it can tell you the index where it occurs. There's an index method of the tuple, I believe. Another way, and I think that the more Pythonic way of doing this actually, is there's a function called enumerate. And this is really useful so that you can provide month's tuple into enumerate. And we'll learn about iterators soon. That's when you'll see it, is when you get to iterators. You provide month's tuple as the argument, and you can get not only the month, but you can get the number out of it. So this kind of gets you the index and the piece of data in there. And this is what your comprehension is going to end up looking like. You want month colon num for num month in enumerate month's tuple, and all this in our dictionary comprehension. And so you'll learn about enumerate later, and that's going to allow you to do this a little bit more easier and more Pythonically, they call it, better style than this sort of solution. Does that make sense? Okay.